Hey y'all, I'm here. I'm live. We live. I think I'm pretty good to go. I don't even know if I'm gonna be here long, but breaking news. Urban Farm News now. It's Urban Farm News now with your girl XOXO Big Nance, Farmer Nancy. We in the building. Y'all. Snap got clapped. Clapped back, then back clapped again. Oh my God. Donald Trump is this just came across our desk. Let me read this to you guys just 1 hour ago from actually I can share with y'all right here. I'm gonna pull up some news clips, news articles about this. Trump administration, excuse me, Trump administration tells states to undo full SNAP benefits. New guidance from USDA on Saturday informed states to move ahead with partially food stamp payments, only given the Supreme Court stay. The Trump administration is telling states not to pay full November food stamp benefits. The Trump administration is telling them not to pay, revisiting its previous guidance after winning a temporary victory at the Supreme Court on Friday. The USDA's latest memo sent Saturday to state directors of the Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program, SNAP, instructed states to deliver just 65% of benefits during the government shutdown and required those who already sent full payments to claw back that money. To the extent states sent full SNAP payments files for November 2025, this was unauthorized. Accordingly, states must immediately undo any steps taken to issue full SNAP benefits for November 2025. The department threatened to take various action if states don't comply, including canceling federal funds that go toward administrative costs for the program or holding states liable for overissuances. The Saturday memo is the latest in a string of moves from the Trump administration that has altered federal guidance on SNAP on a near daily basis. First directing states to pay partial benefits, then saying USDA would comply with full benefits, then filing an emergency appeal, y'all. SNAP got clapped, clapped back, then back clapped again. At first, I wasn't really gonna bring it up because I was gonna just see, you know, how many people would really talk about it. I was just watching to see what was going on. And, just so happened I found myself in a situation when it comes to community gardens and agriculture and the agri-hood. So I just feel like everything is just directing me in this direction because I don't know if y'all know, but SNAP is funded via the Farm Bill. Did y'all know that? Did y'all know that? This is a fact. This is a fact. The food stamps is funded through the Farm Bill. The Farm Bill and food stamps are directly connected because of the Farm Bill. The Farm Bill authorizes, reauthorizes, and provides funding for SNAP and other nutrition programs. SNAP is often the largest part of the Farm Bill and is managed through the bill's nutrition title. This means changes to eligibility, benefits, and program structure are often decided during the Farm Bill process. I'm telling y'all, it's going down. So what does that mean? What does that mean? It's here. It's here. The famine is coming. That's what it means. It means that the famine is coming. The famine is coming. Hold on. I want to share this with y'all real quick. Let me make sure I bring it back to the beginning when it starts. I wanted to make sure. I was like, oh my, this is getting real. I'm gonna have to show my people what this is all about. Hold on. Get it back to the beginning. All right.
If you think about food in America, a couple of things stand out. First, we grow a whole lot of it. Even though farming is risky, our food supply is abundant and relatively cheap. And yet, at the same time, many people, 1 in 8 Americans, can't afford enough to eat. Without government nutrition programs like food stamps, they would go hungry. That's where the Farm Bill comes in, a massive piece of legislation that costs $100 billion every year. It plays a huge role in making sure that farmers keep producing food and that poor people's plates aren't empty. Most of the time, we don't hear or think about the Farm Bill. It just sort of hums along in the background. But every 5 years or so, Congress has to pass a new one. So it lifts the hood and starts knocking around, putting the future direction of our food system up for grabs. So, what is the Farm Bill? For starters, the name, the Farm Bill, doesn't tell the whole story. You can think of it as a powerful, complex machine. A machine with 3 big gears. One helps farmers survive the ups and downs of a risky business. A second gear feeds the hungry. In fact, spending on food stamps dwarfs everything else in the bill. It accounts for 80% of the cost. The third gear focuses on the environment, because you need to protect the water, air, and land once farms get really big. Taken together, the Farm Bill has kept most of us from questioning whether there will be enough food tomorrow, next week, or any time in the future. The Farm Bill has been up and running for 85 years, but now the machine is threatening to break down. And with it, the government's main tool for making sure the nation's food system keeps running. Now, nobody would call the Farm Bill perfect. But if it falls apart, lives and livelihoods would be at risk. Would millions go hungry? Would farmers go bankrupt? Would our air and water quality suffer? To answer these questions, we need to step back. How did we get here in the first place? The Great Depression. Remember the Dust Bowl, the Okies migrating to California from the Great Plains, from an economic free fall to a punishing drought. Crop prices crashed, soils went hungry. So FDR got busy. To turn things around, the government started paying farmers not to grow too much food. The idea was to shrink the glut of crops like corn, wheat, and rice and stabilize prices. As the supply went down, prices would go up. The feds also started buying up any excess crops and putting it in reserves, and these stockpiles were used to feed the hungry. To protect the soil and prevent another Dust Bowl, Congress added a bunch of conservation measures. This became the blueprint for all of the farm bills to come. Over the years,
They took the crops. Y'all, we're gonna go down through this rabbit hole of the Farm Bill and food stamps and how the Farm Bill funds and authorizes funding for food stamps and what's happening now that SNAP got clapped back and then back clapped again. How does that affect the farmers? How does it affect especially the small scale farmers? How does that affect the people's gardens? Like we're gonna start talking about this stuff. It's so much we're gonna start talking about. The agri-hood is real, the streets is hot, the block is hot, it's going down. It's going down.
the Farm Bill has grown into a giant legislative machine. In today's the very first one, and it has a lot of moving parts. But the 3 main goals, support farmers, feed the hungry, and protect the environment, are still the same. Keeping the gears turning has meant that three key groups have had to compromise: the agriculture industry, anti-hunger advocates, and environmentalists. As long as each side got enough of what it wanted, the Farm Bill has kept on chugging. But finding this compromise is getting harder and harder, and now there are huge cracks in the machine. Part of this has to do with the ways the Farm Bill and our food system have changed. And part of it has to do with our increasingly partisan politics. The Farm Bill's future is at risk. To understand why, let's see how it actually works. Now, stick with me, because things are about to get a little wonky. First, let's look at what farmers important ways. They get subsidies for farming, cash payments that keep production high, and prices for consumers low. And they get crop insurance, which protects farmers in case they lose the harvest or prices drop. In both cases, taxpayers write the checks. Free marketeers and food system reformers call this corporate welfare. That's because a lot of the money goes to big ag, not struggling family farmers. About half of all payments go to farmers making more than $100,000 a year. Plus,
do y'all see the difference? Do y'all see the struggle? The small family farmer is not getting the support. So if the small family farmer, the ones who are farming and producing food for your local farmers markets and stuff like that, because we know big ag is going in the big grocery stores. Big ag is not coming down to the local farmers market. Okay, right? So if we know that big ag has this huge amount of access to funds, small ag, small scale farmers, family farms, we just kind of struggling, we making it work. Y'all can just imagine how community gardens get nothing. Hence why they're just a facade. A facade, that's the word for it, a facade. These things are facades that portray an image of food justice or access to food. It's like a mirage in the desert. That's what they're meant for. But when you replace that with a small farm or a farm, now you put that community in the race to gain this access and get support from the Farm Bill. It becomes a part of the food economy. Okay, the food systems. We're talking food systems.
most of that money pays for things we don't even eat, like ethanol for cars, cotton, and animal feed. Or it goes to crops that end up in the cheap, highly processed foods that have helped drive obesity and the rise of food conglomerates. Meanwhile, sustainable food advocates want more funds for organic farming and fresh produce. But agribusiness has become a powerful political force and doesn't want to give ground. As for farmers, their income is way down, and they're fighting to keep these programs in place. Another pressure point? SNAP, the food stamp program that helps 41 million low-income Americans afford groceries. It was added to the Farm Bill in the 1970s. That move helped sway urban lawmakers to support a bill that had mostly benefited farm country, and encouraged rural lawmakers to support anti-hunger programs that were used mostly by the urban poor. At this point, you would think everyone would agree that people shouldn't go hungry. But food stamps have gotten bound up in the debate over government benefits. To Democrats, anti-hunger programs like food stamps are the heart of the social safety net, and they'll do anything to keep them in place. And while Republicans are behind the push to cut spending on anti-hunger programs, the dynamics of hunger have changed. People living in rural America, which tends to skew conservative, are actually more likely to use food stamps than those in cities. The third flashpoint, environmental protection. Big Ag wants to slash regulations that tell farmers not just how, but where they can grow crops. They say these rules protecting rivers, prairies, and migrating birds have gone too far and hurt their bottom line. But environmentalists say the Farm Bill is already way too weak, and they're fighting attempts to roll back protections for water, wildlife, and air quality. The big question now is whether the Farm Bill compromise can hold. Can each side back down and offer just enough to keep the machine running, or will the gears grind to a halt? Because if the Farm Bill breaks down, almost a century of food and agriculture policy will go up in smoke. Some think sending the Farm Bill to the junkyard wouldn't be such a bad thing. It might make room to shift the balance of power away from big ag and toward a more localized and democratic food system. But there's no guarantee that we'll end up in a better place if we scrap the Farm Bill. Especially in today's hyper-partisan political climate. In fact, nobody knows what would happen to agriculture, the environment, or anti-hunger to take its tinkering away, but so far sabotaging the farm.
All right, y'all. So I hope y'all was able to kind of get an understanding of the Farm Bill, why it's important, what it is, and how it's connected to food stamps and the environment, and just the overall concept that the Farm Bill funds authorizes funding for SNAP. So right now, at first, like I said, I was just kind of like, oh my God, I can't believe they're doing this. And I have been watching it closely and kind of watching farm advocates and stuff. And I wasn't going to really say too much yet. I was like, wait, just kind of watch. But then the things start popping off. What's up, R&B? Hey, what's going on? Hey, professional victims hate me. How you doing? Yeah. Proverbs 27:7, the full soul loatheth and honeycomb, but to the hungry soul, every bitter thing is sweet. See? All of that has brought me to what is going on in North St. Louis, especially with a farmer friend of mine, and just the content that I have been seeing and that I'm going over right now when it comes to Slim Pick and Choose TV. This is really important. And that's why I say when you open your mouth about something, you need to make sure that you know what you're talking about and that you know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? I hate when people try to take advantage of a social injustice. And food injustice is really, really bad. Like there's a real ass food war that we're suffering through. And so to have somebody try to insult farmers in such a way, or insult the agricultural space in such a way as to just be propping themselves up because they put in raised beds and calling themselves staples in the community. Well, right now today, SNAP got clapped back, then back clapped again. You know, so it's real serious what we have to deal with out here, and we want to talk about it. We want to tie these things into the accurahood and what that is, and how that is about to be the new thing, y'all. Farmer Nancy is clocking that T. I'm telling y'all right now. You're seeing more of these nonprofits. They're gonna start moving towards the food. They're gonna start moving towards little community gardens. They're not gonna really know what they're doing. Nope, none of them are farmers. They're just growers. They're learning. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna see a lot of abandoned, vacant community gardens. It's already happening. I just showed y'all one. Like it's already happening. So we need to be ready for the move back to the plantation. I don't want to seem like I'm ringing no alarm, but when I'm calling it that, just because that's what an agri-hood is, an agricultural space, an ag ag combined with residential housing, and most likely it's going to be affordable residential housing that does support reentry programs, that gives jobs via the farm, teaching what they call green workforce employment. Real, this is real stuff. I'm not gonna stutter over it. I'm gonna let y'all know what's up. Hold on real quick. All right, y'all. Sorry about that. My babies is outside. She was just coming to check on me. I've been out here. Let me see. Where are we? I want to pull up some information for y'all to show y'all. Oh no, hold on. But the thing about it, R&B is how are we going to look at that, right? That's what he means by make America great again, right? That what to me, for me, that was one of the biggest mistakes that we could have ever made, was leave the farm and leave our stake in the American food system as growers and producers, because now we don't have an economic hold on production or just food in general. So now what's going to happen is all the big farm, unless it's mechanized, AI generated, 3D printed beef, all of that stuff, unless that's going to be the road, that's the big farms. That's going to be big farmers. So if you're not going to have the small scale farms like me, or smaller farmers like me, who are actively fighting for, yeah, okay, if you're going to be doing some agri-hood shit, you're going to be making sure that we up first. You do what you say, and hey, you pay like you weigh. What do we need reparations for? I need my reparations money so I can put a big ass farm on it. Hey, I'm just saying what it looks like, and why certain conversations are not being properly had. And I just be sitting back looking at it. I watch people scream and holler about what they got. They doing this with this, and they getting this with this, and they a staple here and a staple there, when really in actuality they don't have no idea what's coming for them. They don't have any idea what's coming for them. I encourage, I had a big problem with the agri-hood stance because it's so racist. The concept of it is so racist because our hoods are dangerous. So for hobby farmers or young millennials to take this idea of putting hobby farms in their neighborhoods and making it like this exclusive farm plus the home thing, but who was farming it? They're hiring the Mexicans. But then what did they just do with them? Come on, y'all, open y'all's eyes. Open y'all's eyes. This is so crazy. So why is the farm bill important? Why is it so important now that SNAP got clapped back, and then clapped again? That right there was real serious. That was real serious. I'm trying to find this video, y'all. Hold on, sorry. And sorry, I'll be typing. I think it's another one. I got another one. So typically they put, I want to see one that's recent. I kind of explained it to y'all. Okay, I'm gonna show y'all this video. This happened maybe oh, here you go right here. Just a little quick one. Share this tab. Why is the farm bill so controversial? Hint, food stamps. Um they're going to maintain ownership and offer residents or that that that's we go back to what sharecropping and tenant farming. That's why in a way R&B I wasn't really, I was hurt. I was kind of upset at having to um leave the farm and be in this place because the property owner hiked the rent from 1,800 to 4,000 for in like it was already commercial. It was already slated for farm, got a farm number, agriculture and everything, but she went up to $4,000 on the rent. But that's because that corridor that my farm was on is slated for city development. So they want to do a lot of retail space, like retail on the bottom and housing on the top type stuff. So it was the perfect space for what you call an agri-hood. You know what I'm saying? And we were doing, I mean, I lived in it, right? It's residential housing, right? It was affordable residential housing on a farm, right? I walked out of my house, I went and I worked on my farm. So yeah, we was able to create the blueprint for a very small 1.24 acre urban farm, city farm that was walkable, centralized, and agri-hood. I mean, it was in Murder Corner, public safety, all of that. Like we faced all of these issues. So to see them want to do it in a way that creates tenant farming and sharecropping, like I said, renting, that's what I was. Like I just didn't give my property owner a portion or a share of my produce or, you know, my earnings from fucking growing veg and selling the shit there. So it's a lot. It's a lot. But yeah, let me play this. Why is the farm bill so controversial? Why is the farm bill so controversial? Hint, food stamps. Oh, let me take this. Take that. All right, so look, this doesn't have any word sound. So I'm gonna read it to y'all. President Trump apparently, obviously, clearly, snap got clapped, clap back, and then clap back again, back clapped again. President Trump apparently thinks there should be more stringent requirements for food stamps. Like you got to get your ass out there on the farm and work for your food. Hello, Farmer Nancy's in the building. Y'all can keep trying to suppress and oppress the farmers, but look what's gonna happen to y'all. Keep in mind, ain't no builders, ain't no Kwame Brown. Are you a farmer? No. Well, I just build the boxes. I don't got a green thumb or nothing like that. Y'all keep sitting on here playing if y'all want to. This, the Bus Life Farms, Bus Life Agricultural Farms, Bus Life Agricultural Department. I am here for the people that would like to be saved and gathered from the famine. Y'all want to come and learn and hey, get away. I can't even teach y'all. I don't even want y'all to come over here to me to learn nothing. I would like for it to just be a natural build camaraderie, or just, an organic conversation where we can talk about being ready and prepared. We know what's going on. We well informed, especially when it comes to agriculture, it comes to the food systems, because it is about to go down. Why? Because he wasn't just didn't think, he made it happen. Secretary of Agriculture Secretary Sonny Perdue advocates food stamp restrictions for farm bill. Let me stop that. Hold on. This thing was just... What are the tougher work requirements? I'm gonna go back just a little bit because I want to read that one out loud just a little from that article. I don't know why my kids. Agriculture Secretary Sonny Perdue wants more food stamp recipients to work for that assistance, an opening salvo in what are expected to become contentious negotiations. They did it. We're here, y'all. This is crazy. What are the tougher work requirements? SNAP already required work individuals aged 18 to 50 are limited to 3 months of benefits out of every 3 years unless they work or participate in a training program. A proposal in the president's 2019 budget would expand this. Stringent requirements by raising the age of those who face the time limit to 62 and by changing current law to make it harder for states to exempt vulnerable individuals such as those who live in high unemployment areas. Harsher will not improve. Proponents say the new requirements would help lift people up. Critiques argue the work requirements strip away a necessary source of food from those who don't know. Shit, they moving quick on us now. I'm gonna bring it back and listen to him talk. Come on. I'm glad I turned the volume down though. My little computer is struggling. She all right though. Don't hate on her. I've been getting a lot of hate, y'all. I've been getting a lot of it. Lots of hate coming Big Nancy's way. Critics argue the work requirements strip away, don't know where their rent meal will come from. Okay, where their next rent or meal will come from. It's gonna come from where you go buy it after you get off work.
I don't know. Impose work restrictions that end up really causing harm to children, not to mention their parents. You're basically doing a disservice. One of the things that I'm always concerned about is if you use hunger as a tool to coerce people to do something, you end up with bad outcomes.
The new bill assumes states will take the reins and offer work programs for people who realistic. Quick pause. The new Republican Farm Bill would dismantle all programs to feed the needy. States cannot establish the massive work programs that will be required to serve the unemployed among the 40 million people receiving food assistance. 40 million. Just imagine if any number of those people had their own farms. Any of these people's families was actively working and being mobile outside, growing shit and doing shit on their own. Y'all, this is a plan. This is what you call the food matrix. They trying to trick you into believing you gonna starve to death, especially if you don't get no job. But you don't never think, I could just grow my own food. That could be my job. And I can grow my own food, sell it, make money, and still feed my family. Y'all, This why they don't want to fuck with Big Nance, because I take away our room for the bullshit. It's silly shit. It's silly shit. You have no time whatsoever to be talking about how you a street nigga pushing drugs, pushing street shit and all that shit if you out in the field. Whether or not you out in the field picking eggplants or motherfucking cotton, we can spin that cotton and turn it into thread. We need some sheep. You better learn how to shear them sheep. You need a wool coat. Winter is coming. The self-sustainability of it all, like there's no self-sustainability for the Black community whatsoever. We popped. How can a man sit up here and say his granddaddy and them taught him how to fish, hunt, and skin shit, but all he got to offer is street nigga shit, fake shit, hooping and hollering on the internet? These is the men though. But these is the people that y'all on the internet looking at like they men and they real. Slimmylicious, you popped. You pop. Why you pop? Because Snap got clapped back, then back clapped again. That's why. That's why. 2 Thessalonians 3:10, for even when we were with you, this we commanded you, that if any would not work, neither should he eat. We're all R&B. We're here. We are here. It's happening. It is happening. It is happening. Oh my God, I got chills on my arms. I got chills. I got chills. Oh my God. It's happening. All right, so now I want to share with y'all what is going on with the 2025 bill, right? So you would want to be like, well, dang, you know what's going on with what's happening in 2025, because we see what's going on. We want to know what. Hold on, y'all. Let me stop sharing this real quick. I'm gonna have to reshare, reset. My shit was kind of trying to run a little bit slow. I need some power. Use my power and energy for good. Use my Wi-Fi bits for good. I'm hilarious. Them kids out there having fun. I just hear children screaming. Hold on. I don't got nothing going on. My backgrounds, nothing. Come on now. Come on now. Keep searching for me. Yeah, well, while they at work, we just been in the conversation I had, I was so glad. Like I told y'all, I was just floored. I was flabbergasted. I was like, I'm not feeling it. What he's talking about. Like, if people only really knew and really took the time to stop playing so much, they would see. But then they're gonna want to go back and talk about it. Well, Big Nance was telling you. Big Nance was telling y'all better stop fucking around. Y'all better stop playing. Y'all think it's a joke. Y'all took me for a joke. Wanted to mock me. Wanted to act like what I was doing wasn't shit. Oh, she ain't no farmer. I just sat back. I kept working, kept doing the shit that I need to do in my community. Why? Because that's where it matters. And when my community leadership started looking at me like, oh, she thinks she too big for herself, start trying to pop off, start trying to blackball me, act like, I couldn't have access or seat at the table too. I was like, that shit don't matter to me because I'm going to keep on growing. Y'all can't stop me from growing food. I grow onions from seeds. Hello? From seeds. Do you understand me? I grow onions. Stop playing with it. The One Big Beautiful Bill explain. This is the 2025 Farm Bill update. They put this out just 3 months ago. So let's dive into this and see what's going on with it. Wait, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm under attack. Y'all, I'm under attack. This ain't nothing but the devil in my top. They trying to take me down. My sinuses, everything. Try to drink water. It go down the wrong pipe. Try to share the Farm Bill 2025 with y'all. My Wi-Fi trying to be running choppy. I'm telling y'all. This is it. Did y'all hear the trumpets for famine? I think I heard them. I think I heard them when Lester was screaming and hollering at Bishop. I was like, why is this man screaming and hollering like that? Like, what the hell? Ooh. See, you gotta talk shit back to the demons. They get up off you. Be like, this what you want. I had to talk a little shit back to them. They was trying to get you, girl. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can get this thing going. Let me see. Damn. I might have to do it like this, y'all. Y'all ain't missing nothing on that screen. Yeah, I'm gonna do it like this. I wish I could. I want to share it. I wish I could, but it's fucking with me. So I'm gonna just do it like this. It's like Radio Nation. Hold on. Hold on. They don't want to see me winning. Trying to get you, girl. It's all right. We've always stood 10 toes down on what? Agriculture.
We dig into the world of agriculture's most popular headlines and everything in between. I'm Charlie, and today's episode will bring you the most relevant, up-to-date content on the One Big Beautiful Bill and what it means for farmers across our great country. Our goal is to research, interpret, and report so you can be better educated on how this can influence your operation. Just a quick history lesson. Every 5 years, Congress attempts to update the Farm Bill, a sweeping package of crop supports, nutrition programs, conservation initiatives, and trade provisions that funnels roughly $400 billion into our rural economy. Congress doesn't always agree on major changes. At that point, the only solution is to reauthorize the current bill and extend what's currently in place. Important note, while the One Big Beautiful Bill reauthorized core Farm Bill commodity and risk management programs, it isn't the full, standalone Farm Bill addressing all aspects of nutrition, conservation, rural development, and other titles still awaiting their own reauthorization. Here's what we know. Among the positives, the 2025 Farm Bill provides expanded conservation incentives with $12 billion for soil health and carbon sequestration programs.
Oh, $12 billion. And they so petty. Slim Malicious is so petty. They just went in there with a little bitty excavator and just did a little dig around. They just want to get a little $40,000 grant, a little $80,000 grant, a little chump change. They playing bald-headed hoe games with our real lives, with people's real lives in North St. Louis. Like this shit be getting me so riled up because it's real. This is some real shit. You want to talk about money moves? Money moves? We don't know what you're talking about. That's going to be $1,000 fine.
Rewarding cover crops, no-till adoption, and buffer strips more generously. It modernizes crop insurance by adding a premium discount tier for small and mid-sized farms to keep insurance affordable and protect against volatile weather, and allocates $5 billion for rural broadband expansion in unserved counties to enable faster connectivity for precision ag tools and better market access. Yet, stricter means testing and payment caps will phase out subsidies for farms with adjusted gross incomes over $900,000, nutrient management mandates tying conservation dollars to verified soil tests and runoff controls.
Now, just remember, they told us that the Farm Bill is always a thing between the farmers, the food advocates, and the environmentalists, the people that fight for food, for SNAP. The middle, the food conservation, that's the SNAP benefits. So when it comes to the farmers, it's a split. It's a twofold because you have big money, like they just said. They got the major subsidies and stuff for those whose farm income is over $900,000 a year. And then they have the farmers that are small scale farmers. We just out here trying to get it. All right.
Will improve water quality, but add compliance steps and uncertainty around market facilitation payments leave some growized operations. These changes open fresh opportunities to invest in conservation and ag tech with generous cost shares. Larger farmers will need to reassess subsidy expectations and strengthen risk management strategies, and anyone tapping into nutrient management funds must maintain accurate records and compliance plans. The Big Beautiful Bill drives the engine of American agriculture, shaping seed choices, fertility decisions, and overall farm economics, and staying informed on its provisions empowers you to capture every available incentive. That's your overview of the 2025 Farm Bill.
That was a quick little overview of what we need to be looking out for in the Farm Bill. I'm going to get into this one. Let me see.
Think of it like a Swiss Army knife. One law with dozens of tools inside. The original version was passed back in 1933 during the Great Depression. Back then, the goal was to stabilize prices, support struggling farmers, and prevent another Dust Bowl. But over the decades, it's grown. A lot. Today, the Farm Bill isn't just about agriculture. It's also the primary law funding SNAP, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, which used to be called food stamps. In fact, nutrition programs make up nearly 80% of the Farm Bill's spending. So even if you never set foot on a farm, this bill likely impacts your life. Here's a quick breakdown of where the money goes. The total price tag for the 2025 Farm Bill is estimated at over $1 trillion.
Oh my God. The overall Farm Bill, just the Farm Bill, is estimated at over $1 trillion. Oh my God, boy, I'm telling y'all, all us little small scale farmers we just need a little bit of support. We just need a little bit of backing from some people that really can help. get us in the door because it's hard as fuck out here. It's hard to be trying to be an advocate. We gotta fight for the farm. How the fuck we fighting the farm? That's crazy. That's crazy, especially as a Black woman having a fight to farm. And my girl up there in St. Louis having a fight to farm. What?
This reflects the projected spending over a 10-year to be called food stamps. In fact, nutrition programs make up nearly 80% of the Farm Bill's spending. So even if you never set foot on a farm, this bill likely impacts your life. Here's a quick breakdown of where the money goes. The total price tag for the 2025 Farm Bill is estimated at over $1 trillion. This reflects the projected spending over a 10-year window, from 2025 to 2035. Out of that, around 80% goes to nutrition programs, mostly SNAP. Another 10 to 15% goes to crop subsidies, insurance programs, and disaster relief. The rest covers conservation incentives, agricultural research, forestry, and rural infrastructure, like broadband and clean water. It's a massive piece of the federal budget and a quiet engine behind both food security and farm production in the U.S. So what's new in the 2025 version? A lot. And now without controversy. Congress missed the original deadline back in 2023 and had to pass a one-year extension just to keep things running. That gave lawmakers more time to negotiate, but also more room to argue. Now both the House and Senate Agriculture Committees are finalizing their proposals, and the final bill is expected to pass sometime later this year. But there are still major debates on spending limits, food assistance rules, and climate funding. If it passes on schedule, it'll be a small miracle. Let's talk about some of the biggest updates on the table. First up, SNAP, the government's food assistance program. It helps more than 40 million Americans, and it's where most of the Farm Bill's money goes. But in 2025, some big changes are on the table. Here's what's being proposed in plain English. More people would have to work to qualify. Right now, if you're an adult under 50 without kids, you usually have to work or be in a job training program to keep your SNAP benefits for more than 3 months. The new bill would raise that age limit to 55, so more people would have to follow those rules. Some states would have to bring back limits on how much money people can have. Today, many states don't check how much you have in savings or assets when you apply for food help. The new rules would bring back those checks. So if you have a little too much saved, even if your income is low, you might not qualify. Stricter paperwork. There would be more checks on your income, and people might have to verify their information more often to keep getting benefits. On the flip side, the bill would make it easier to use SNAP online, a big help for people in rural areas or without transportation. And it would test a new idea, giving people a little extra money if they spend more on fruits and vegetables, kind of like a bonus for healthier choices. Finally, there's more funding to crack down on fraud, like stolen EBT cards or dishonest retailers. Some say these changes will help make the system fairer and more sustainable. Others worry that it could push struggling people off the program or make it harder for them to qualify. But SNAP is just one part of the story. There's also new funding for climate-smart agriculture, meaning programs that reward farmers for cutting emissions, improving soil health, or using less water. There's more money for rural infrastructure,
All that.
especially broadband internet and clean water systems.
That's connectivity.
And new support for beginning farmers.
That's the food stamp phones, connectivity, broadband, having the food stamp tablets. Stop playing with big niggas.
Trying to break into the industry. And finally, there are tweaks to crop insurance and disaster aid in response to rising weather risks. The Farm Bill also has a ripple effect on the entire food industry. Subsidies for crops like corn, soybeans, wheat, and dairy directly influence the cost of processed food, from cereal to soda to frozen pizza. Ethanol requirements, for example, drive demand for corn and affect gas prices at the pump. And SNAP benefits? They're a major source of revenue for grocery stores, especially giants like Walmart and Kroger, which earn billions through assistance spending. In fact, the processed food industry relies heavily on SNAP. That's because a big chunk of SNAP spending goes toward packaged and shelf-stable foods, things like frozen meals, snacks, sugary drinks, and breakfast cereals. They're convenient, inexpensive, and easy to stock in stores across the country. So when lawmakers debate cutting SNAP or adding new restrictions, it's not just about government spending. It's also about how much food companies sell and what ends up on your plate. In that way, the Farm Bill doesn't just steer farm policy. It shapes the entire supply chain behind the food economy. Of course, not everyone agrees on what the Farm Bill should look like. There are some big criticisms. Many argue it disproportionately benefits large agribusinesses at the expense of small or independent farmers. Others say it doesn't do enough to address public health, given how much support goes toward commodity crops and not fruits, vegetables, or healthy local foods. Environmental groups want tougher conservation rules and stronger incentives for climate-friendly practices. Fiscal conservatives, meanwhile, want to cut nutrition spending and shrink the bill's overall size. And then there's the complexity. Dozens of programs, agencies, and eligibility rules, which opens the door to accusations of waste, inefficiency, or even corporate welfare. So how does this thing even get passed? The answer: political horse trading. The Farm Bill survives because it brings together strange bedfellows. Urban Democrats usually want strong nutrition programs. Rural Republicans want to protect farm subsidies. And both sides need each other's votes. That's what makes it one of the last major bipartisan laws that still manages to pass, even if it takes a few extra months and plenty of deal-making behind closed doors. In 2025, the biggest fights are over. How much to spend overall, whether SNAP should come with more strings attached, and whether climate-related funding should be mandatory or optional. But as the world changes, the Farm Bill faces an uncertain future. There's growing pressure to rethink how America supports its food system, from what we grow to how we grow it, to who benefits. And on top of that, there's a rising push in Washington to rein in federal spending. Some lawmakers are calling for across-the-board cuts.
Yeah,
And since the Farm Bill is one of the biggest single pieces of discretionary legislation, it could end up in the crosshairs. In other words, even programs that have traditionally enjoyed bipartisan support, like farm subsidies or food aid, may face new scrutiny in the name of budget discipline. And the biggest target? SNAP.
Boy, we here. Ooh, we is here, Big Nance. All you have to do is be patient, baby. You just have to wait on it. Just wait on it. A change gonna come. They gonna see.
Program that makes up roughly 80% of the Farm Bill's total spending. With such a large footprint, it's often the first place lawmakers look when they want to trim costs. The bottom line: the Farm Bill may not get the spotlight like other massive legislation, but it quietly shapes your grocery bill, your tax bill, your climate footprint, and your community's future. It's $1 trillion mirror of what America values. And every 5 years, we get to take another look. That's all.
He said it's $1 trillion mirror of what America values, but we don't value it. I got people mocking the farmers, playing with the farmers, acting like the farmers ain't shit. Who? What? I don't know nothing about that. It's not a game. It's not a joke. And so I have to pick, and I have to watch. And this little bit, I've decided that this little piece that I'm gonna take a chunk of, called the Bus Life Agricultural Department, over here on the outskirts of the bus life sector. We're gonna spread out. We're gonna spread to different spaces, different areas, and the agri-hood, and all of it is gonna come together. It's busters in the agri-hood. It's people living a real busted ass life in the agri-hood. It's street niggas in the agri-hood. They ain't hitting on shit. You know what I'm saying? It's hoes in the agri-hood. It's real out here in these agri-hood streets. We have to be made aware of what's going on around us, especially when it comes to the food. The SNAP food stamps fucking farm bills, all of this stuff is all intertwined and it's under attack right now. Now, I'm about to play something for y'all and then I'm gonna be up out of here. What could we have done to avoid this? We could have stayed our asses at home on the farm, in the fields, and worked. They gave us the opportunity. The USDA created a program called the Stay at Home Program, and they was trying to help the blacks stay at home. Well, there wasn't no ride around in the streets and getting it. Stay your ass at home and work for your food. So you don't got to come out here and get on the food stamps. That wasn't it was not meant for us. Because we was the farmers. So see how y'all let it flipped you on your head. Wanted to be in the streets instead of in the field. Okay, I see you.
There are about 9 million Negroes in our southern states, and the majority of them live on farms. While many of these farmers have achieved independence and perhaps prosperity, all too many barely make a living. In common with all other southern farmers, they have suffered from a train of evils that have their roots in poor farming, particularly one-crop farming. For over 30 years, agricultural extension workers have labored to eradicate these evils. The demonstration work, founded long ago by the late Dr. Seaman A. Knapp, has grown.
Now, keep in mind, as we watch this video, it's very racist in its tone. For the USDA to just come in and tell the descendants of slaves and some slaves that's still alive, still teaching their kids farming things and stuff, for them to come and be like, y'all don't know what y'all doing, y'all only one crop farming, y'all need to be doing this, was crazy. Okay, it was really crazy. It was really, really crazy. But this is all a part of the matrix. We're in the food matrix. All right, we're in the food matrix. So watch this with open eyes. Watch this with open eyes. But understand that only if only we would have just stayed at home on that land that Mima and Papa and them had then sent us. Listen. I'm trying to tell y'all.
Grown into a nationwide extension service. This map shows the status of this work among Negroes in 1937. There are over 225 agricultural agents and about 175 home demonstration agents now working for better farming and better living among southern Negroes. Aunt Sally Smith, born in Africa and long past her 110th year when she died in 1937, lived to see the hard lot endured by her generation and that of her children in some measure bettered by this campaign to help Negroes help themselves. In the nature of things, extension work among the poorer farmers, living in houses like these, on small farms, often on unproductive soil, must deal with fundamentals. Thus, the problem of the Negro farmer is like the proverbial problem of lifting yourself by your own bootstraps. He has little or no cash income. It is no mere pleasantry to say that for these folks, the hound dog is a useful farm animal. and that hunting and fishing are not sports primarily, but necessary means for providing fresh meat. Under such conditions, the farm agent's problem is one of making the most of small resources. Here, for example, is a one-room cabin in the cotton country. The farm, 3 acres of thin, sour land. The household, mind you, they all sleep together on pallets in this little cabin. 12 persons. This primitive home, this big household, this small, thin-soiled farm, these exemplify the conditions in question at their worst. Live at home is the watchword of the extension program, and a good home garden the first objective, for otherwise a proper standard of physical well-being cannot be attained. Here's a well-planned home garden, large enough to supply the needs of a big family with something left over for market.
Are y'all listening to this? This is what Donald Trump is telling y'all was the live at home. Live your ass at home. You don't got no access to no land? You better get on with the next plan, because what's about to happen is y'all about to have to be in the agri-hood. Residential housing attached to the farm, not the community garden. The man just said, here's a nice sized garden, enough to feed the family and go to market. What's wrong with that? I'm confused. Why are y'all crying? That's the devil. Those are demons. Why are y'all crying and so hurt and upset about the fact that you gonna have to work for your food? The USDA in 1938 told y'all, live at home. You could work from home, silly ass.
Another garden farther south, where okra is a garden staple. Where it is the practice to can surplus fruit and vegetables, such a garden may go far toward supplying the family living. In the truck-growing districts, many families make their living from the sale of vegetables. Here is a farm devoted largely to the growing of eggplant. Thus, the garden may be expanded to furnish most of the cash income of the farm. In any event, the garden remains a major feature of the extension program. Crop improvement work may begin with a neighborhood demonstration by the county agricultural agent, an agent demonstrating approved standards for the selection of seed corn. The lessons learned from such demonstrations are fundamental. A county agent gives a group of his 4-H club boys a lesson in seed corn selection in the field. Proof of the value of this work is such a cornfield as this on the farm of a cooperator, or this field of corn and soybeans. Note the luxuriant growth of the soil improvement crop between the rows of corn. Harvesting tobacco on the land of a farmer who works in close cooperation with his county agent in the work that is being done to improve the methods of handling this crop. This farmer gives each of his children a definite share in the proceeds of the crop. These little girls are working not only for the family, but also for themselves. There's wholesome personal pride back of this dexterity.
He ain't say nothing about being in the streets. Home pride. You can take pride. Them babies is taking pride in that. You teaching them how to read a ruler, but you don't know how to plant seeds. You couldn't even tell us who was there to show them how to plant the seeds. Game recognized game. Just game, running that game on the people. It's fucked up, bro. It's fucked up.
With the help of extension specialists, farmers in the peanut region are giving more and more consideration to the problems of handling this important crop. In certain districts, the extension workers have pushed the production of long staple cotton, a Negro family picking Sea Island cotton grown from seed secured through the help of the county agricultural agent. A group of 4-H Cotton Club boys, each delivering his bale to the warehouse. The success of each of these boys necessarily has a good effect on the cotton farming of his neighborhood. These bales are silent witnesses for the cause of better agriculture. Soil conservation is a major feature of the extension program. Farmers are urged to plow and cultivate on contours and follow other approved practices. A crew preparing for terracing under the direction of an extension agent. Note that the job is done with simple and inexpensive equipment. Such modern practice is becoming common among these farmers, as is the use of soil improvement crops, such as soybeans, cowpeas, lespedeza, Austrian winter peas, and vetch. Witness this fine stand of Japan clover. On the left, the farmer who grew this crop.
So what they would do, they created like the ERCS, which is like the Environmental Conservationist Program. And so these will be extension agents. The one on the right, it will be somebody that looked like you. They work with the USDA with the air quotes in the air. They look like you. They come to your farm. They go over your soil. They go over your crops. And they, they try to tell you what you got going on. But at the same time, you're filling out information about your farm. So you're informing the USDA of what your crop validity is, your soil samples. So now the government knows, okay, these people have something going on over here. Whoop, whoop, whoop. So the relationship that the USDA had with Black farmers is very important because of the way they put people in position to come in to our farms and try to, I want to say like take away from the knowledge and make it seem like now they're coming in to train us, when experience, it just came from experience. It was familial experience. We came down, I was gonna say, boy, came down. We came out of the garden, okay, and we're right into it. You understand that? So, it just is what it is, you guys. At the end of the day, agriculture is really, really something that we need to be paying attention to, and we got to get to it.
The farm poultry flock is a factor of major importance in the Live at Home program. These barred rocks
we ain't seen no chicken coops in the
the
hood.
diet of the household, as well as with eggs and fryers for sale or trade. This flock of Rhode Island Reds is the pride and joy of a former 4-H club member. Poultry is a profitable demonstration for both boys and girls, and is stressed as one of the main enterprises in the Live at Home program. This 4-H club boy took his chickens to school with him, and with the proceeds from sale of eggs, he is paying his way at a preparatory institution, a way to get an education if you have what it takes. In many communities, turkeys are a profitable source of cash income. And occasionally, we find a man who goes into poultry in a commercial way. This is the plant of a farmer who specializes in white leghorns. Livestock improvement work is done largely through the Boys and Girls 4-H Club. Some calf club boys getting pointers on how to judge a dairy cow. And here is the business end of another 4-H calf club enterprise. These purebred jerseys have a high record for butterfat production. Particularly in Alabama, local veterinarians with vaccinating equipment, in cooperation with the county agent, have trained many farmers to help stamp out hog collar. The farmers in a community can get the job done quickly and economically under this plan. These hogs, raised by a 4-H club boy, show their good breeding. There's profit in well-bred swine. Grade hogs like these, from native Razorback sows bred to good boars, are finding a ready sale on local markets.
Kevlo, quit playing. Talking about you gonna put a hog, put one pig on your people land. What you clubs, live at home, live your ass at home. Who's taking care of them pigs? You and Super is gonna take care of them goddamn hogs. Fuck you talking about? This the Bus Life Agricultural Department checking in. Ecclesiastes 1:9. The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. Shout out R&B. Right there with it. Right there with it. I knew you was going to come with it, R&B. I knew you was.
A neighborhood dairy demonstration made by a girls' 4-H club under the direction of the home demonstration agent. Clean milk is a prime objective, and county home demonstration agents cooperate with the women of their communities in making all possible improvements in sanitation in the handling of dairy products. In communities where such herds as this are the rule, a long step has been taken toward breaking the regime of fatback sorghum under which pellagra has resulted and become a curse. In such neighborhoods, fresh and pure dairy products are available for all 3 times a day. An adequate family supply of dairy and poultry products, combined with vegetables and fruits from the home garden, helps to safeguard the family health. Clean.
Look at that butter. He just said we was able to sustain ourselves living at home 3 times a day. Auntie and them, everybody could come over at least 3 different times a day and fill up. Get the groceries. Listen, I'm about to go over to R&B in them house because they got all the butter, the ice cream, all the dairy, the cheese, the goat feta. I need to. Can we trade? I got some pecans. I got some almonds. I even got a couple of olive trees. I'm coming with all the toppings. I just, like I feel, and that's just what it was. Like, I don't, it's like, everybody was going to Babylon. I don't know. They was like, fuck the farm, fuck the house. We ain't doing this no more. It's all, to me, it's just all systemic. Like, I just feel like this the food matrix. It's the food matrix. And it's sad. It's sad because we here. It's the time. It's the time. I'm telling y'all, look at that damn butter she putting in that dang on thing.
Wholesome
that
farm
looks good.
Butter, good homemade cheese and other dairy products find a ready market when a surplus in excess of family needs is produced. Occasionally, a farmer takes to dairying in a big way. Witness this big herd, which furnishes grade A milk to a thriving southern city. In the southern coastal plain, the woods are full of scrub cattle, the so-called Piney Woods breed. Negro extension workers there have inaugurated a Better Sires campaign, breeding for beef with purebred bulls. Here is one of their Aberdeen Angus community bulls. And here, grade cattle produced by crossing native cows with such bulls. There has been an increasing use of purebred bulls to improve the quality of beef for market and for foundation herds. A demonstration in approved methods of curing pork. Home canning and curing of the family meat supply saves cash. No outlay is needed for bringing home the bacon, where farmers are thrifty and follow approved meat curing and smoking methods.
Hear that, Slimmylicious? Meat curing. You over there talking about you know how to skin stuff. You ain't had a meat curing class. You ain't showed not a deer, not a possum. You didn't skint alive. And Just a waste. It's just wasted space, y'all. And we sick of it. We sick of letting these people, especially ones that's talking about they street niggas, we sick of letting them think that they can just take over, that they have any type of upper hand, that they are above us as people. They won't even live at home. Like, what you talking about? They want to be out in the streets, fucking up the streets. They're not even living at home. Like, what? Come on, man. I don't want to make this one too long, so I'm probably gonna do a part 2 of this video. We got just a little over 10 minutes left. I'm gonna let it play to like an hour and 25 minutes, and then I'm gonna head out and we'll pick up part 2. I'm gonna get some more information about the SNAP.
A smokehouse is a necessity on the southern farm, for what is home without a ham? This is a modern concrete smokehouse, but hams from the relatively inexpensive old-time farm smokehouse will smell just as sweet and stick just as close to the ribs as those from some more modern structure. The ham is what counts. The sorghum mill, an institution of long standing, plays an important part in the Live at Home campaign. The product of this home manufacturing plant is a staple that goes far toward reducing cash outlay for food, supplying a cheap sweet that has its place in maintaining the balance desired in the family diet. Furthermore, such a mill often yields sorghum or cane syrup for sale. Thus, the Live at Home program pays dividends, always in saving and sometimes in cash. Home canning of food products is a fundamental feature of the Live at Home program. A well-filled pantry is not only the best insurance against sickness, but it saves money. A year's food supply for a family of 5 in this section may be worth several $100s. Since money saved is money made, the women and girls, through such activities as this, add to the farm family income and at the same time safeguard the family health. A well-constructed smokehouse such as this makes a good storage place for canned products in regions where there is no danger from freezing. These well-filled shelves show what the energetic housewife can do toward providing the family living. A canning
That's me, y'all. Coach Rock said, you got to go in the house. You outside being Miss Parker and shit all on the farm. The cars driving by and the hood niggas driving by too slow, honking and shit. You got to go in the house and be an energetic housewife and start canning shit.
demonstration under the supervision of a county home demonstration agent. On such occasions, the women of a community meet and do their work in common, using community equipment, while the agent supervises the work and gives instruction in approved methods of procedure where necessary. Here is a simple homemade canning outfit which is used in community canning where better equipment is not available. A neighborhood canning bee in which the home demonstration agent directs the work. This is typical of neighborhood group activity. And here's an exceptionally well-organized and productive community canning enterprise. Once each week during the summer season, the people of this community gather in this grove to can their products cooperatively. The women prepare the fruits, vegetables, or meat products for canning. The men cut the wood, keep the fire going in the furnace, and handle the heavy pressure cookers. And everybody has a grand time. It's a sort of weekly community picnic that pays dividends in food put up for winter. Shuttered windows with no sash and no screen are the usual thing in the cabins of many of the poorer farmers. In cold weather, these shutters are kept closed. Doors.
Perfect. All right, y'all. That's going to be the perfect place for us to stop and get ready. I'm going to do part 2. I might come back later on and do the part 2 and watch the rest of this. Is called The Negro Farmer 1938. But Yeah. We see, look at this. We get into the household renovations. The household Big Nancy's just on it. I'm just on it. Why? Because agricultural is our that's it. It's just in me. It's just bred in me. I'm Texas farmer. I'm Texas ancestry. I'm just 200 years been in Texas. Fucking just it's amazing to me. I love it. This is my thing. This is what I do best. And we're gonna keep talking about it. Everybody gotta eat, and you don't want to see nobody starving. You don't want to see nobody stuck out hungry or nothing like that. That's crazy to want people to be destitute. You know what I'm saying? How can in one breath you be saying you a staple in the community and this, and you want to help and you do all of this stuff, but at the same breath you're willing to throw around the mockery and bullying, the dope fiends. And when you were a part of creating such a thing in the community, and it's just disgusting. And we just got to pray for people, y'all, and we just have to step in where God needs us to step in. We have to really just step in and just be there as for support. We have to go in and support people and show them a better, more righteous way. And it's easy to do when you can put your hands in the soil and grow food, with love. We ain't growing food with malice. We grow our food with love. Every time I've done something like this, it's always been out of love, because we want people to understand that we don't got to be like this. I get it. You just hangry. You just trying to figure out a way. You know what I'm saying? But this ain't the way. We want you to do better. Y'all catch me on the next one. I'm going to see y'all in a little bit. Peace out.